Okay, 5:30 p.m. Of course, I will, 5:30, but join by 5:40. All right, latest.
স্যার যখন কোয়েশ্চেনটা সেন্ড করবেন আপনার ইমেলটা ওকে একটু সেন্ড করতে পারবেন সাথে।
আচ্ছা, আমার ইমেলটা এখনো লিখে নেন। I've sent you guys from my email address the Google form for the midterms. Remember, so you should have it. So
স্যার কুইজের উইন্ডোটা কতক্ষণ থাকবে?
1 hour. 1 hour.
স্যার কুইজ টাইম?
Quiz time হচ্ছে I will design it in such a way that it will be about 40 minutes. ঠিক আছে? It will take around 40 minutes. Maximum 40 minutes. So I'm also giving them the additional time to sort of scan or do those technical things.
স্যার কুইজের কোশ্চেন 5:30 দিলে ভালো হয়।
Sorry?
কুইজের কোশ্চেন 5:30 দিলে ভালো হয়, বিকজ ওই যে মাগরিবের নামাজ আছে।
আচ্ছা, ঠিক আছে তাহলে 5:30 তে। Alright. Okay, I will send the question at 5:30. Alright. 5:30 p.m. Alright. Any question regarding these things? এই issues গুলো নিয়ে? Alright. No. So give me a second. I'll connect my tab. Just all right. I think last class we started um, we sort of looked at the total cost concepts, the marginal cost, the variable cost, right? And the average variable cost, average fixed cost, average total cost, and how to calculate those pretty straightforward calculations. Now, what we are going to look at is I'm going to give you another table, all right? So try to uh, fill out this table. I'll give you about 10 minutes. I think 10 minutes should be enough. Let's say if it output, so let's call this Q. So Q output, production level, quantity level, all these are same. So we have labor per day production output per day output as in like the production per day. Then we have let's say the total fixed cost, total variable cost, and total cost, then marginal cost, then average fixed cost, average variable cost, average total cost, right? Average total cost. Now, sorry. So under this labor, let's assume 0, 0, 1, 3, 4, 5. এটা কেন হচ্ছে না? Weird. Anyways, কোনো একটা কেন হচ্ছে না এটা? Yeah. So it's weird. Okay, so we have the output and labor. I'm going to give you the total few other information. Let's just write it down. Let's say the function follows this. So total cost equals to let's say 25 plus L times 25. Okay, so this is the total cost function. What you need to do here is like you need to solve all this. So I'm giving you, let's say 12 minutes. Solve current showing. So solve these sections. Any question, anyone? Do you guys have any question? Then, all right, try to solve this. I'm giving you 12 minutes. So you have the cost function given.
Sir,
Yeah.
it is for short run.
Yeah, short run. That's a good question. So so short run, all right? So this is short run cost, total cost. We will discuss long run later today. So what is going to be the fixed cost? Anyone?
Sir, 25.
Because where is it coming from?
So when we put L equals 0, we get total cost is 25, but their TVC is 0. So
Yeah. So this will be 0, right? So
yes.
you have the fixed cost here only. So remember the formula: total cost equals to fixed cost plus a variable cost. So 25, then this is going to be the same because we're in the short run, so the capital does not change. So we will just follow one function, this one. What about the total variable cost? First one, this is 0, right? Total cost 25, marginal cost blank, FC blank, blank. So then what we will have here, this one, anyone?
স্যার স্যার টিভিসির বলছেন
Yeah,
স্যার এটা হয় 25 50 75 100
good. 25, 50, 75, 100. Just simply multiply this L by L times 25. So 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. So then we have total cost 50, 75, then 100, 125. Okay. What about the marginal cost? What
স্যার
is
সবগুলা 25
marginal cost? Shop
স্যার মানে all of them are 25
marginal cost. All right. Is it anyone else? So good. First সেটটা হচ্ছে 6.25. Tell me why it's not 25. Because
del c by del q তো এখানে তো পার্সেন্টেজ
good. Del TC by del Q, not del L. This is a common mistake. This is not divided by change in labor. This is divided by change in quantity. Okay, so 6.25, then
4.17,
good, then
8.33,
8.33, good, then
12.50 or 25.
wait,
Oh, sorry, sorry.
6.2,
12.5.
12.5. Okay, then average fixed cost.
স্যার থার্ডটা স্যার 2.5 হওয়ার কথা না
Okay, let's see. Third isn't like this one.
স্যার 4.17 it is
Okay, so 75 minus 50. So 75 minus 50 divided by 10 minus 4, which is what? 25 divided by
আমি
6.
4
No, 4.17.
yes sir
6, 4.17. All right. If what about the fixed cost, average fixed cost? So average fixed cost, I won't solve this because average fixed cost, just calculate the total fixed cost divided by what? The quantity, Q. Average variable cost, total variable cost divided by quantity. Average total cost is simply the addition of AFC plus AVC or total cost divided by quantity. All right, solve this, those who haven't. So, any question, এগুলো নিয়ে? Do you guys have any question? So graphically, let me do a rough sketch. So if you plot this data on a
স্যার
graph, and
এভারেজ টোটাল কস্টের সূত্রটা আরেকবার একটু বলবেন কাইন্ডলি?
so average total cost is simply the sum of average fixed cost and average variable cost. Or so you can use this, or you can simply calculate. So the average total cost equal to total cost divided by quantity. So total cost divided by quantity. So there are two ways to solve this. Okay, বুঝতে পেরেছেন?
জি স্যার।
Okay, so here let's draw some rough graphs. So for example, এখানে we'll draw FC, AVC, marginal cost, average total cost. Okay, and then we will have here the let's say the quantity, all right, output level. Now if you draw the graph, let's say this is your average, this is the marginal cost. Okay, sorry, this is the average variable cost or average variable cost. Then let's say this is your average fixed cost, and this would be your total cost. Okay, and let's say this is your marginal cost. Marginal cost started from 6.25, average fixed cost marginal started. So this is a marginal cost. Okay. So this is a rough sketch. So what do we have here? So Can anyone tell me why the average fixed cost is downward sloping here? Like it's falling. Why? Anyone? So unlike the average variable cost, uh, it doesn't really go up at any point of the production uh, level. Or why? Why is it the case that average fixed cost is always declining?
Sir,
স্যার
because
স্যার এখানে স্যার টোটাল ফিক্স কস্টটা তো ফিক্সড এখানে 25, যার
Yeah,
কারণে যত ভ্যালু বাড়তেছে কিউ এ তত আমাদের নিচে
good.
নামছে।
So as you produce more, so Latif, I believe you were going to say the same
yes, sir,
thing.
I was going
Or,
to
yeah.
say.
So as you increase your production, you see your average fixed cost, which is the fixed cost, a fixed number divided by the quantity, would definitely fall. So that's why it's always falling. However, average variable expense, this does not always fall, right? This might vary. Even if you had solved this problem, you will see that just look at the variable cost, total variable, had. Look at the total variable, not total variable cost, look at the marginal cost. You'll get an idea. You see marginal cost, the way it behaves, it it is 6.25. Then when you are producing 10 units, then the marginal cost is 4.17. So the marginal cost falls, right? So my graph is not exactly so let me draw a better graph of the curve of the marginal cost. So it should be something like this. So let's so if if you assume this to be the 4.17 level, all right, the minimum level, then it starts increasing again. So 8.3, 12.5, blah blah blah. Now the reason this falls is because you're becoming more cost effective. Uh, let's say cost effective in the sense that you have attained a you have added or hired more workers, and actually you're producing more. So the cost, the relative cost associated is less than the production level that you are maintaining. All right. So your variable cost fell. Average variable cost actually fell at this point. Now, why is it ATC always above, or at least why is it in the short run ATC uh, can't be less than AVC?
So it is the sum of AFC and ABC. So
Good.
commutator.
Exactly. So ATC will be above or at least above AVC, or at above or at least equal to AVC. If you think of AFC to be zero, then ATC must be same as AVC, right? So it can't go below AVC. Now, if you look at the any question, anyone?
স্যার একটু উপরে যাওয়া যাবে, ওই ফর্মুলা আমি একটা মিস করেছি।
বলেন।
এটাই।
So now let's actually look at this in contrast with the marginal productivity and average product of labor. All right. So this will help us to sort of understand output and cost um, better. And here, one thing that I'll have to I should mention that the marginal cost, this declining of marginal cost, this nature actually reflects the law of diminishing marginal returns. Okay, so the law of diminishing marginal returns. Why is it the case that this marginal cost reflects the law of diminishing marginal returns? Anyone? So if this is the marginal cost, uh, this actually follow the law of diminishing marginal returns.
Because sir, up to a certain quantity,
Hmm.
the marginal cost is decreasing, as we can see, but
Yeah.
then it starts
Okay.
to increase
Yes.
after that quantity.
So
So
so this is actually, you're right. So what? So as you add more labor, So as you add more labor after certain point of production, level of production, you need to hire more laborers to produce more output. So this reflects the productivity concept, right? So remember productivity, marginal productivity. This shows us the decreasing returns to labor factor. So this was output. So decreasing returns to labor. So as you produce more with your workers, now after so this is increasing at a decreasing rate. This is increasing. What happened to them? Give me a second. Can you see my screen? No, no.
No, sir.
So this increases at a decreasing rate. As is it visible? Oh no. Okay. So I am actually producing more. All right. So if I increase the labor from L1 to L2, I am producing Q1, Q2. So Q2 is greater than Q1. If I hire more labors, let's say L3, I'm producing more Q3. However, the rate is decreasing. The rate is decreasing because if you look at these two particular points, so you need to hire, let's say L4 and L5. So you need to hire, let's say, significant number of workers, or you need to increase your labor by a significant number just to increase an output level of this much. So this is actually the law of diminishing marginal returns, or the decreasing returns to labor. Okay. Now this is again reflected by the concepts of marginal cost, right? And it makes sense because marginal cost deals with what? It tells us the change in total cost over change in quantity. Now, if you are producing this much, right, the cost which is associated with this, with labor here, of course, fixed cost and variable cost, and labor reflects the variable cost. So if this goes up and this is smaller than before, so the change is not that much, but the change in uh, variable cost is a significant one. Of course, your marginal cost would go up, right? This will go up. So this is actually important for you to understand that. As so again, um, this also tells us that at the maximum point of marginal productivity, at the maximum point of productivity, the marginal cost would be at its minimum. So at the maximum point of its productivity, actually, let me draw these two graphs clearly. So we have the average product and the marginal product here, the total cost. Okay. So let's just focus on average variable cost and marginal cost here. So can anyone tell me what would be the horizontal axis here? Anyone?
So quantity.
Quantity. Okay. So for both quantity.
Yes.
Okay. No, wrong. Anyone else? So you got one right. So one would be quantity, another how do we calculate this? এটা চিন্তা করলেই তো হয়।
Oh, sir, that would be labor.
Which one?
Product.
Good. This would be labor. Good. Labor and quantity. Correct. So now let's just draw this. Let's call this let's MP and AP. So we discussed this graphs, right? We actually can actually pull for it. MP, and we have, let's say, average variable cost, and the marginal cost. So here the productivity is at its maximum, right? The productivity is at maximum, and the marginal cost is at minimum. So maximum productivity minimum marginal cost. So most cost effective again. So maximum productivity minimum marginal cost, because you're being most cost effective at this particular point because your laborers are really productive. They're you're utilizing your resources 100%. They are working to their maximum capacity or ability, right? Now one thing that you also need to take a look at is as the labor increases, so we discussed these sort of things earlier. As the labor increases, the marginal product, average product would increase, right? As you increase your labor, as you are producing, because you want to increase your production. Now, if this is increasing, right? So you are really productive. So this reflects this part. So you are really productive initially. So you are really productive till you hit the maximum point, and during that phase your average cost actually falls, your marginal cost actually falls because your labors are being productive. Now once they cross that level, so this is falling now, marginal productivity. Now after this point your marginal cost would start going up, marginal cost would start going up, right? Now once the marginal cost crosses the average variable cost, the average variable cost starts going up. The average variable starts going up, similar to the average product, right? So once the marginal product crosses coincides the average product, the average product usually starts falling. The average product starts falling. Okay. So this was increasing. At this point, these two curves coincided, and the marginal product starts falling. Question anyone? Go ahead. You strive now. You have a question. So these are concepts related to the short-run cost. Now just let's talk about, before that, this is also important. So what are the factors that would actually shift these curves? So the factors that affect the productivity and the cost. So what are the factors? Any idea, anyone? So what would be the factors, at least to your knowledge, that would increase the productivity or decrease the productivity or increase the marginal cost or decrease the marginal cost? What could be the factors?
Sorry, education and training.
Sorry, আবার বলেন।
Education and training.
হুম,
It could increase.
হ্যাঁ, good, হ্যাঁ, it's good. আর
The technology.
very good, technology. Anything else? Anything else?
Salary of the labor.
Very good. Salary of the labor. So which is labor salary বলি না, ওটা wages. Good. Anything else? So installing or buying, investing in tools and machineries, right?
Yes, sir.
So here, one thing that you'll have to understand is these are all capital, right? These are all capital. Education training, this is also one form of capital, which is the human capital. Okay. Technology, so technology, wages হচ্ছে the labor factor. So if we can actually categorize all these four into two factors broadly. One could be the technology factor, technology progress. Two would be the prices of inputs, which is basically resources or factors of production. So for example, if you bring any changes in your tools and machineries or in education training, you are affecting the return, right? You are bringing change on the returns from that investment or returns on education training tools and machineries. Now if you increase the wages, that's basically the price. So the price is related to your factors of production and technology. Now remember one thing, that the factors of production that we have covered is output and capital and labor. So that's what I'm just focusing on these two. And technology is technology. For example, if you, let's say there was no Wi-Fi, so there was no internet, because in Bangladesh, let's assume that there is no internet. So what this would do, this would increase the cost of communication, right? All form of communication. It will slow down the production, the growth of the economy. So the technology is essential, is indispensable, right, to the country's growth, to the industry's growth, to the factories' production, so to our productivity. So how does the technology help us? Technology sort of increases the productivity. So it increases the productivity level. What about the prices of inputs and resources? Now, can anyone tell me, if you decide to increase the wages of your labor, so W goes up, how does this change? How does this change affect let's say your farm's production? So what happens here? Graphically, try to illustrate the impact of change of wages. Anyone? So what would happen here? What the কি হয়?
Increase করবে
কি increase করবে?
marginal
Marginal productivity would increase. Okay. Or anything else? marginal productivity would increase. Anything else, anyone?
So marginal cost to the increase হবে
Exactly. Why?
because sir wage বাড়াচ্ছে so basically cost বাড়তেছে আমার।
Exactly, good. Total cost. You see, I don't know the marginal productivity would definitely increase or decrease, or whether it's going to stay at the same position, because I don't know. However, one thing I would know is what? Anyone? So the instantaneous impact কি হবে? মানে instantaneous বলতে the instant impact কি হবে? So what would be the immediate effect of the weight change?
Total cost will increase.
Very good. So this would be the first impact, right? The total cost would increase for the firms. So that would definitely do what here? This would increase your marginal cost and your as well as what? Average cost as well. So the marginal cost would go up. At the same time, average variable cost would also increase. So average variable cost would also increase because your total cost is higher now due to the higher wage rate. Now, what would happen to the productivity? Now this comes after some time because we don't know whether it will go up or not. Now, the case might be that there could be several scenarios. Let's just focus on two. One, this will indeed increase the productivity because people are now people are happier, like people labor because they are getting higher salary, so they are willing to put put more effort into producing those goods. So ultimately this will have a positive effect. This as in like the wage increment would have a positive effect. And eventually what might be the case here, so initially I'm saying PC goes up, okay, PC goes up. After certain, let's say after some time, MP goes up. So then how this affect the cost curve?
মিটিংটা স্টপ করতে হবে